Hi there. So in the previous video, we have talked about the issue related to the chart that we had created. So we have created a chart like this where we wanted to see the sales by different shipping modes. So we created the different objects like orders underscore RA for a regular air sales, and then DT for delivery truck sales, and EA for all those shipping mode for sales which have been done by express air. And then we plotted this, and this is what we got. And the issue was that this ordered underscore EA dot shape, so by express air, it has only 983 rows. If you see it by red R plus, that's what we have indicated over here. And if you see the observations, it is going up till this 6,000 mark or even 8,000 mark. Well, I left that video at this point, and so that you can think through and figure it out why there is such an issue. So the issue is because of the indexing. So what it has is, if I just show you orders underscore EA, and this value is starting from 8, then 21, then 47. All of these values are basically getting plotted on the x-axis. And if I go down, you will see that x-axis values are spread across 8398, even after you just have the total number of rows is 983. So to resolve this kind of an issue, so that there is not a wrong representation of values on the chart, what you can do is re-index the chart. So for that, first of all, what we need to do is create an index. So maybe what we can do is order underscore EA underscore index, and then use the np.arrange, and in that we will start from 0 to 983, 1. So if I just plot it under orders underscore EA underscore index, you will see the index value is starting from 0 and going up till 982. And let me see how many. I think it was 983 that we had. Okay, so we are good with this, because the total values that you have is 983. And now what we can do is for orders underscore EA index, we can specify this value. So now orders underscore EA dot index is equals to orders underscore EA underscore index. And now let's see the orders underscore EA. Okay, underscore. So now you can see my values are starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, right, and going up till 982. So now my issue is resolved from the x-axis perspective. And now if I go ahead and plot it again, let's say this is a 1 which I wanted to plot, go down and paste it here, and now you will see my values axis is correct from 0 to somewhere 863 or 862. So this is how you can resolve the issue. And for rest of the other two objects, right, if I just go up and show you that, it's become a little big output, so taking a little bit of time. So orders underscore EA, similarly you have orders underscore DT, where you have 1146 values, and then I think there is one more. So express air, regular air, RA in that case. So you can change it to RA. So for this, you can create this range from 0 to 1146 and then assign it. And for RA, you can again create it up till 6270 because it has the maximum values. And this way you will get to know the right x-axis, the right distribution, as well as right plotting of values on the y-axis. So this is what I mainly wanted to cover in this solution video, and I've already shown you how you can resolve one, and I am leaving the rest too, so that you can do an exercise and get familiarity. So that's pretty much all I have, and I'll meet you in the new video, the new topic. Hi there, this is Abhishek, and in this video I will talk about the scatter plot matrix that you can create with the help of the pandas library. So as you can see, I am showing you here right now the scatter plot matrix. So on the x-axis, if you see, there is sales, discount, profit, all of those different numerical variables. The same numerical variables you will see here on the y-axis. And the benefit is that in just one simple graph, you are able to see the overview of how your different variables are correlated with each other. So for example, in case of, let's say, this showing a linear relationship, so as you know, the sales and the profit is showing the linear relationship, they are going high. When the profit is increasing, the sales is also increasing. So, or vice versa, you can say that sales is increasing and profit is also increasing, and basically try to see whether any correlation exists or not. So for example, in case of unit price and in case of discount, doesn't seems to be a correlation. Similarly, in case of profit and discount, similarly in case of this unit profit, unit price and discount, like shipping cost and discount, doesn't seems to be a visible linear relationship. Same is the case if you see the histograms. These are all the histograms which are diagonally presented for this matrix. Doesn't show that there is a normal distribution, but they are skewed either to the mostly towards the left side. So how we can basically go ahead and create it within the Python notebook, I'll just show you in a few minutes. Okay, so here we are on a scatter plot matrix. So if I just come here and get import pandas as PD, and to get the plot inline, I will just use %matplotlib inline. So pandas spelling. Okay, after that, let's get our data set. So here we are with our data set, which what we are seeing is with the help of pandas library PD, which is here, read.excel. This is the path of the file that we need to access, and 0 is basically indicating that we want to access the first sheet, which is the orders sheet. And then we are storing all of this data here in the orders object. Alright, after that, let me show you the first couple of observations, maybe just two. Yeah, so here we have the sales, the discount, profit, unit price, all of those values. So if I show you all the columns, I can use orders.columns, and here all the columns are over here. And if I want to know how many total rows and columns which are present, then I can use the shape. So we know that now 8399 rows are present and 21 columns. If I want more information about these different columns, then I can use info function, which will give me that for row ID how many rows are there, whether it's a null or a non-null, and then what is the whether it is a float, integer, date, time, what it is. So some useful functions you will always use in every analysis, just to get the idea about your data set. Okay, now let's come to the business with the scatter plot metric. So the thing is saying pd.scatter_matrix, and within that, if I show you some of the columns that we need to fill. So for example, we need to say frame, alpha, figure size, and different parameters, grid, diagonal, by default histogram. All of those options are default present. So let's go ahead and try to create the histogram, the scatter matrix with the default parameters. So what we will do in this case is we will write orders dot LOC, or maybe LOC is good, fine. And we want all the rows, and then we want columns from let's say over here we have sales, discount, then profit, then unit price and shipping cost. So let's go ahead and write sales colon and then shipping cost, covering all of the. So what it does basically, this scatter matrix just picks up all the numerical columns which are there. It will not pick the ship mode which is coming in between of the discount and profit, and will just show sales, discount, profit, unit price and shipping cost. Even after that, if you would have any variable over here after a couple of object variable which contains the textual data, it would have skipped that and gave us back the numerical columns. Alright, so this is about the basic information that you need to provide. So let me hit shift enter and let's see what it produces. Okay, alright, here. So here we are with this plot, and here we have our scatter plot. Now the issue is that this plot is not properly sized. So what we can do is we can go back again up there, and one of the parameter, if I show you, after comma I'm pressing shift tab, and the fixed size, I'm using the fixed size to change the size of this figure, and maybe I want, let's say 12,10, and now let me press again shift enter, and now let's see how it is coming. So if I go down, okay, now it's coming a bit better. If I just remove the header, yeah, now all of my columns are coming. So with that, you can basically experiment fixed size parameter, that what is the figure size that you need. Okay, so 12:10, maybe you just want 6,10 or 10,6, depends on your requirement. You can play around and get it done. Let's see another parameter which is very interesting. Right now, if you see, for this diagonal representation, we have the histogram, but there is a option which you can change to a more visually aesthetic the diagram, which is KDE, kernel density estimation. So let's go ahead and see that. So I'll just copy the previous code so that I don't have to write it again, or maybe here itself I can change. Now if I say diagonal, by default, if I show you by pressing shift tab, this parameter diagonal is basically histogram. So you can change it to KDE. Let's shift enter. It will take a couple of seconds. Now it is there, and here now you have the KDE, which shows much better information as compared to the histogram about the distribution of data. It's clearly saying that here is a peak, and then we are seeing that when the values are starting, they are at top, but right on this point it is going up to the down. So that basically give us an indication that what's really going on with the data. So for example, here it's a weird chart, and over here it's going up and then finally going down. What's really going on here? Is there any pattern that it is revealing, or any information inside the data that you are about to explore, or you should explore? So that's how you can change the KDE. Apart from that, it has, as you must have seen, if I'm going here, I'm pressing Shift Tab. Again, it has like marker, basic one, alpha, very basic one, density KWS, hist KWS, range pairing, all of those different parameters that you have, and you can actually go to the documentation of this scattered matrix if you really want to go deep down and try to understand all of these parameters, which basically you can utilize to create an impressive and better scatter matrix. But the idea was that I'm giving you the quick overview of scatter matrix about how you can use it, but I find it very useful. I always create this metric whenever I'm doing any data analysis or any data science project. So that's pretty much about it, and I'll meet you in the new video, the new topic. Hi there. In this video I will going to cover some of the Boxplot chart features and basically show you how you can create the box plot directly from data frame. So in this video I will cover most of the basics, and I have the second video in which I will go a little bit in depth to look at how you can get the real interpretations back from the Boxplot chart. Alright, so let's go ahead and first of all see how you can plot it using the data set. So first of all, I will going to import pandas library. I will import the matplotlib.pyplot as plt as usual, and to plot the chart inline I will use %matplotlib inline. Alright, inline. So here we are with these three commands. Now let's go ahead and get the data set. So this is the data set we have been using, orders data set from the Superstore sales file, and we are fetching the first sheet, and let's go ahead and get it. Okay, now to plot a box plot you need a numeric column, so let's go ahead and see the orders dot columns, and here we are with row order ID, order date, order priority, again not a numeric one, but order quantity is basically something which is numeric. Sales is for sure numeric, discount is numeric, profit is numeric, same is unit price, shipping cost. So these all looks like all the numeric columns. So to plot the box plot, what I can use is plt.boxplot and then specify the column name orders dots. Let's say first of all I want sales, and if I press shift enter, here I have with the orders data. So this is basically I would say very skewed the data over here, because there are a lot of outliers. The boundaries of a box plot are really squeezed. So let me try and show you the different one, maybe discount for example. Yeah, so it shows a good representation, at least for this example, to get you an idea about how you should really see and know about the box plot. So what it is basically showing you this is basically a median line where you can say average discount is somewhere around 5% for all of the products across the company that you can say. And here are some of the outliers, and then you have the upper boundary. So this is basically represents the 75. So this is what they say is interquartile range, and this is the upper and lower boundaries, and there are certain data points which are even going beyond the upper and lower boundaries, and we call them outliers. So this is very helpful in those cases also where you want to know about the outliers, or you want to do some analysis, and to move ahead with your analysis you really need to know what the outliers are, because they drastically change the expected result, and you are kind of not expecting this. So for example, you are in an organization like this where sales are happening, and you got that one very big customer who is purchasing product worth, let's say, 1 million. However, your average sales is somewhere around $100,000 in a month. So think about this, how much your data will be skewed, because whereas your $100,000 and one is, on the other hand, you have $1 million. So that will show that in rest of the quarters or in rest of the months your company is really performing poor, and in just 1 month it has exceeded all of these expectations of the management. But that's not right? You need to remove that particular data set or the value from the data set and then do the analysis, because that's an outlier. Everybody is aware about it. Okay, so that's quickly about the outlier analysis that you can do with the help of for the box plot. But like I showed, I just changed the variable over here, and that's a very, very simple representation. If I want, I can say even profit. So profit is also, as you can see, there are a lot of outliers, and the boundaries are really less, they are squeezed up. So you can have this kind of data set. They sometimes exhibit a lot of good information when you further interrogate it, let's say by different dimensions, and that's what I will going to cover in the next video. So maybe, for example, across the company, this looks really squeezed up data from the box plot perspective. But when you divide this data into dimension, let's say shipping mode, maybe let's say product category, you will get to know more about your data set, that why it happens in which particular category, and that's what your entire data analysis is. So that's the column. Another column we have is order quantity. So whenever you have space, what you can do is you can just specify these brackets, and within that specify order quantity. Okay, so here we have the order quantity, and as you can see, it's a very nice, there are no outliers. This is very well distributed. You can see 75% of the values are coming anywhere between 10 to 40, and the rest of the others are basically coming until the 50 as a quantity, and starting with somewhere around 2 or 3. So on an average, you can see you are selling somewhere around 27 or 28 is your median. Now, along with the median, you will always want to see what is my mean value. So if you are not aware what is the difference between mean and median, I will just suggest do a Google and figure it out. So what I will say is, so here is a mean line. I would just say mean line, and if I press Shift Tab, it will show you all of the parameters that we can. So for example, I am showing you the mean line, and oops, we get it back. So mean line is here, mean line is none. So let's go ahead and change it to true, and let's see it. Okay, I think the mean line and median line is overlapping each other, and that's why you are probably not able to see it. But there is another property which is show means, and now as you can see, it is showing you an indication. So my understanding was right. Its mean was equal to median, and that's why it was not showing you the mean line. But here in this case, you can clearly see where your mean is. It's right there on the median line. So that's one thing. The next thing is changing the way about how it has been shown over here. So right now it is vertical, and we have this property vert is equals to, by default it is true, and if I change it to false, you will get the horizontal one. And that's very useful in some cases where your data is in such a way that you want to plot it like this, the horizontal, the one plot, the second, the third, the fourth, and the fifth, and then you want to do the comparison, because sometimes for your eyes that gives you a better interpretation, better understanding of the data. So if you want that, you can change it to false. Okay, what I'll do is I'll just copy this and move it to next, so that I am not making it as a very, very busy one. So I am pretty much done with this, and I'll just come to discount. Okay, so here we have again back to discount, And couple of things like for this 0 0, sometimes you have a, let's say, requirement that you want to change this 0 to something else. So what you can do is, maybe let's say you want to indicate plus signs. So C is basically cyan, and if I'm alright, let me say SYM is equals to, yeah, now it is fine. So you can actually look into the documentation about all the different symbols. This is C. Again, you can have B also, that will basically the blue one. So wherever it is making sense for you, you can simply change it as per the way you need it. There is another very interesting way to see the confidence interval of your median. So what you do is, there is a property. If I press Shift Tab, and this is notch. So if I say notch is equals to 1, which is a second parameter in this case, so here you will say the diagram has changed, and though you may not be able to see it completely, but what it has done is plotted the confidence interval. So if you are really interested in the confidence interval related analysis, you can specify this notch parameter as 1. So if I again show you, this is the first parameter, this is the second parameter. By default it is none, but you can change it to 1. If you change it to 0, it will not show you the notch or the confidence interval separation that is related to the median. Last but not the least, that if you want to remove all of these outliers, in some of the cases like profit you had seen, or in the sales you had seen, there was so many outliers. So sometimes you just want to remove it just for the sake of, you really want to understand what is going on with my main data. So here if I press Shift Tab again, so this is X notch, and then there is a parameter that you can specify that will actually going to remove the outliers as well. Oops. And that is nothing but your symbol. So if your symbol, let's say you are saying none, if you're removing this, you will remove your outliers in that case, and you are clearly able to see how's your discounting, or how is your discount is on the normal data as compared to your without your outliers. If you want to go back with the outliers, red plus, so here you are with the red plus. So that's how you can really do the pattern analysis, remove the outliers, and look at your entire data. So that's pretty much all I have for you in this video, the basics, because it's important to understand how these different things works in tandem. And in the next video I will further grill the data to show you the box plots by different dimensions and with some more parameters that make sense for the data analysis. So that's pretty much all I have, and I'll meet you in the new video with a new topic. Hi there, this is Abhishek, and in this video I will show you a different way about how you show your plots. So far in my videos, if you have seen, as well as other tutorials, you might have seen that we have been using percentage matplotlib inline as one of the ways to show the plots inline to your command. So that really helps in terms of viewing the plot. But what if you want to make it more interactive, things like you may want to zoom it or do the selection on the chart? Well, in that case, you just need to basically change this inline to something called notebook. That's it. So once you change it to a notebook, what it does is basically it converts a normal chart, a static chart, into an interactive chart. So let's see it in action. So here we have percentage matplotlib notebook, and let's go ahead and import matplotlib.pyplot as PLT like always. Let's specify X value, maybe some random value, right, and some random value for Y, 17. Simply say plt.plot, say X comma Y, and plt.show, and here we are. Well, here is our chart, a simple line chart based on some random values, and if you see, it has this stop interaction button. That way you can stop the interaction. But if you go down a little bit, you will find a couple of icons like home, back, forward, and then pan axis, like it is indicating it over on the right side, that pan axis with left mouse, zoom with right, and then you have zoom and save to download the plot. So what it is basically, if I go and click on the zoom, I get this cursor with plus sign now, and I can zoom it only this part. So now this part is zoomed, and if I want, I can use this pan axis icon and I can change it, and I can move up, down, left and right to view the desired data. This is really helpful in cases like scatter chart, where you are producing or you are showing a lot of data points on the chart, and you want to zoom it on a particular section, and then use the this pan option to basically move up, down, left or right on the chart to better analyze it. Once you are done with it, you can come to home to basically come back to your original chart, as well as based on whatever interaction you have done with the help of zoom and this pan button, you can use back and forward based on those actions and see what you had done earlier, or you want to move forward, then you can move forward also. So that's about how you can make your chart interactive, and hope this tip is useful for you. Hey guys, this is Abhishek, and in this video I will give you a quick trick about removing this text which is coming when you are showing the Matplotlib chart. So it comes because we are using %matplot inline, and it gives us some useful information, but sometimes like in this case, it's really irritating because it is taking a lot of space, which ideally should be for the chart. So idea is that if we want to remove this, here let's say in this case, this is all the text which has come, and for this second chart this text is coming. So if you want to remove this, there is a quick trick which you can apply, and that is like just pasting a semicolon after this command. And if I press shift enter now, you will see that entire text is gone. Alright, if I press semicolon, again my entire text is gone. So that's the quick trick I wanted to give you about removing that text, because I found it really irritating, and I just did a little bit of research and found this cool trick. So just thought of sharing with you. Hope you liked it. Hey guys, this is Abhishek, and in this video I will talk about how you can adjust the limits, add the label names and grids to your Matplotlib chart. So let's get started. First of all, I will just show you about how you can prepare your data from your existing file, which you will usually find it in any normal scenario doing the data analysis. So for that, let's go ahead and import a couple of libraries. matplotlib.pyplot splt, and I will just say matplotlib inline. So we are good here. Now let's go ahead and get the file. So here I have brought the file for you. What I am using is the one which we have already used in several of the videos in the previous examples, just to maintain the consistency. And we are basically reading an Excel file with the help of pandas function, and this is the path, and this is basically indicating 0 is indicating the first sheet, and we are saving this sheet, which is order information, is into orders. So let's go ahead and execute that. Now it's been executed. Let's see the info related to this. So here we have the information about, this is a row ID, order date, all of those information. So what we are really interested in is creating a pivot kind of an structure for plotting the trend data. So what we want to get is sales and one dimension maybe either ship mode or region or product category, whatever is one thing, and then basically the year from the order date. So let's create first of all the year from the order date. So what we need to do in that case is we need to write this order year and then simply write orders and name of the column, which is order date dot tt dot year. Well, that's all you need to do. And now if I show you orders dot columns, you will have the year as one of the column, right? So now we have created the year. What we need to do is create a pivot table. So let's create a sales pivot, and we need pd.pivot_table. First of all, specify the dataset name, then the numeric column sales, and then the index to get the rows. So index is basically your year. It was in small, and then in columns you will get, let's say, ship mode. Alright, so here we are with all of this information, and finally you need to specify aggregate function. If I press shift tab, you will see that data, values, index, columns, that's what I have in here, and aggregate function is by default mean. So I'll not go ahead and specify it, I'll just simply use it, and let's press execute that. Okay, so we are good over here, and now let's see our pivot. So here we are with our pivot. Now remember this, that you need to have a certain sort of structure to plot the data set. Sometimes you may not get the expected output because you have not aggregated the data properly. So you can either use pivot table or group by or something else, to aggregate your data. But I find that pivot table is most useful whenever I am dealing with this visualization information. Okay, so I can simply write plt.plot and simply pass on pivot. That's it, right? I'll just execute that, and here is my chart. Now that's the benefit I get it when I create a pivot table, because now my chart is trending. Chart has been created with the trending information, but it's still not complete. First of all, the axis is missing, the label is missing, and let's say you want to use grid, then grid is missing. So first thing I want to tell you is, sometimes this is just an information that there are 3 lines at this particular position. So if we don't want to get that, which is not meaningful for us because chart is the most meaningful thing, what I can use is simply semicolon. That's a trick, guys. So if I execute that, those lines will be removed. Okay, so whenever you are also in a need of not having those lines, that's what you need to do. After that, what we can do is we need to first of all specify the axis. So I will copy this. I hate writing a lot of commands, and I will just say x limit. To specify x limit, though our x limit is properly specified, so but I'll just go ahead specify the lower limit 2009 to 2012, and what I will use is ylim, which is more meaningful because on the y-axis the value is starting from 1000, which is fine, but going up till somewhere near to the 6000. If you see 5706 in the 2011. So what we can do is we can specify the minimum limit and maximize the upper limit. Alright, let's execute that. Now you will see you get much better information because now you even have 6000, so you know it is somewhere around 5700 or 800. Alright, once you have added this, now let's add the labels to get the proper information. So what I'll do is I'll just come here and say x label. So label on the x-axis, and let's say sales years, and plt.y label, and we'll say sales by ship mode. So here we are, sales years and sales by ship mode. Now let's go ahead and talk about the legends. So all of these three lines, right now we don't know what they are. So let's see so they are delivery truck, express air and regular air. So if I go down, and here I just need to add label is equals to delivery truck and then express air and then regular air. Go ahead and execute that. You will not see it because we need to add the legend. Alright, so here we are with the legend information, and you can actually specify the position. So you have the value from 0 to 10. So if I specify, let's say 0, okay, I need to specify the argument. If I go and into the parameters, here we are 0, 1, 2, and this is the definition, and it's just that LOC is what I need to specify. There we are. Let's see, LOC is equals to 0. So now the issue is not coming, and if I specify 1, it has gone on the top. So you can basically go into that pressing shift tab and go down there to see from 0 to 10 what you need to do. So center left, center right, so let's specify center right 7. So here we are. So that's how you can basically add the legend and basically get it done. And there are a couple of other things, like you can specify 7, or you can specify even say upper right. So not only the value from 0 to 10, if you are specifying in a simple English, it will be able to understand where you really want that. Also, there is a way that you can also specify the coordinates. So if I say 0.5 comma 0.5, you will see that it is just looking at the coordinates that I'm specifying. So this is the X and this is the Y, so maybe we need to put little bit inside. So maybe I can say 0.2. Yeah, now it is inside, and then I can play around with that. I can say 0.5 to, let's say, 0.8, and in that case of 0.8, so 0 is starting here and probably going up till here 1, so 0.8 is indicating that you want to be on top. And if I specify 0.2 comma 0.2, it is somewhere down there. So if you want pixel perfect reporting or a pixel perfect legend, not just the upper left, upper right, center and things like that, then you can specify the legends like this and get your legend information as per your need. So that's pretty much about it. It's the very real life example that I have shown you by taking some real data, and probably you will find it useful when you are doing your own analysis. Hi guys, this is Abhishek, and in this video I will show you a quick function to save the plots that we have created in the previous video. So if you remember, in the previous video I created this plot with the help of these different commands to show it here, but sometimes you have a need that you do not want, you want to show it here or may not want to show it here, but you want to save it for, let's say, use it in a presentation or maybe later use for in some other documentation. So how you can really save the plot and adjust the parameters? So what you have is basically save fig is the one, and specify the file name. So maybe here in this case sales by ship mode .jpg, if that is the format you want. So JPG, PDF and PNG is what you get, and PNG is a default format. So if I go ahead and execute that, it has executed, and since I have not specified the proper path, it has saved at a default location where the notebooks are running. So if I go to the location where all the notebooks are, you will see that sales by ship mode is basically created, and here is the file, the saved plot. Apart from that, what you can do is you can say png and executing it again. If I go back and show you, here we have the png file. Finally, let's see it as PDF, and it will be reflected in a couple of seconds. So here we are, the PDF file. So we have JPG, PDF and PNG. Another parameter that is worth looking at is DPI, the dot per inches. So if I press Shift Tab, you will see the DPI by default is none. So what DPI is basically saying, you can specify DPI as 200, 300 or 400. It's basically saying that higher the DPI is, better the resolution of your image, and it will become more bulky. So you can experiment it with what your requirements are with the DPI, and if it is a complex figure and you want a good resolution, then keep on increasing it until you find the better one. So this is DPI, but you have other like face color, edge color, very straightforward, orientation, paper type, format, transparent, pad inches. All the definitions have been given below. Like I mentioned about the DPI, the resolution, dot per inch, and then you have face color, orientation, whether landscape or portrait. By default, I think it is portrait. And then you have paper type, like in a printing, whenever you print a letter or you want a legal or executive, what kind of paper you want on which the chart should be printed. And then the format, like I mentioned, it has PNG, PDF, PS, EPS and SVG. Yeah, so SVG is also another interesting thing because it does not loses the dots whenever you are stretching it. So another thing on which you can really play around. And then transparent, frame on, box inches, pad inches, and bbox extra artist. So this is something where you can really experiment, like bbox extra artist, a list of extra artist that will be considered when the type bbox is calculated. And if I go back, bbox inches over here, only the given portion of the figure is saved. So it's like very customized plot that you can save for your presentation. So that's about the different parameters and that you can specify, and the different type of format that you can specify with the help of the save figures. So that's a quick one about how you can save a figure, and I'll meet in a new video, the new topic. Hey guys, this is Abhishek, and in this video I will talk about how you can customize some of the font that you are using, or the lines, or the plot is basically to have it more according to your own requirements. So the first thing, or the function that we're going to use is from the plt.rc parameters. So this is the chart that we had created in the previous video. We modified it a little bit, but now what we want, let's say for example, we want to increase the font size. So in the bracket we need to specify font dot size, as you can see, equals to, let's say 15, and execute the plot again. So if I go down and show you, now the font size is 15. Let's say if it is too big, let's make it 12, and again on 12, this is how it is coming. So probably if you think this is fine for you, you can use it. And next thing what we can use is RC params, and let's say we want is font dot family, and let's see, we want serif, and execute again. Now you will see the font of the chart has been changed. So you have a couple of others, like if I press tab, font dot, so you have monospace, sans serif, serif, all of these different one that you can use. Apart from this, so I will just font family like this, and maybe make it 10 so that this is properly coming. Execute it. Font family, adding the quote. So now it is properly coming. And after that, let's say there is a need that you want to change it to a different styles. So there is a style method that we can use, and another method we will use refresh tab plt.style.use, and you can specify style. And style is, there are three ways how you can specify the style, but I'm going to use very directly one of the famous style, which is ggplot, grammar of graphics plot. Let's execute that, and let's execute this. Now you will see that the style has been changed, and it's pretty nice according to the basic ggplot grammar of graphics. There is another style which is very popular from this website. I think it is 538. So let's see, 538. I think that's the right name. Yeah. So if that is a style you want to use, then this is the style. Very similar to your ggplot, but 538 has their own way. So what I'll do is I'll just comment this so that it is not impacting, and I'm just straightforward default using the 538, and yeah, that's the right style. So that's about how you can use the style. But let's say you want to come back to the default, you can use default. Okay, and this is your default style that you can apply. So you can experiment, and then if you want to come back, you can always use default. One other style I would like to show you is the presentation. So that is really helpful when you want to show the plot on a paper so that it looks from a presentation perspective. So if I execute that, file not found, presentation, I think the name is right, PRESENTAON. Let's go down and see what it is basically saying. Presentation not found in the style library. See style.available. Okay, let's go ahead and see why it is not available. I remember that I used it. Style.available. Okay, so here we are, BMH classic. We have used 538. Okay, I think probably, not sure that they have removed it or what. So you have these different styles that you can then use on the presentation. Maybe that is from the perspective here. I have used in one of the previous videos, I have used the function, and I think that was savefig. So savefig is basically to save the figure with the proper DPI and all of those things to put it on a presentation. Probably because of that they must have removed it. So I was not aware. So, but apart from that, these are the different ones that you can use. So let's try to use it, maybe classic, and here we are with the classic format. Okay, now let's move ahead and see a couple of other things. Let's try to see something related to the lines, and let me change it to, say, ggplot. And before that, I will just use RC params, and I want to use line. So you can see that related to the lines, you have a lot of parameters to give: line color, line cap style, John style, pattern. Let's specify the line width and make it 2, for example, and execute that. So this is the line width. Let's make it 10 to see the impact. Now you can see with the 10 the line width has been increased. So this way, you have a lot of options related to even lines. If you want to come dash pattern and dot pattern, I think they are boolean if I'm not wrong, and color obviously, and marker size if you are using marker on the color. Apart from that, if you want to use the complete list, I just press the tab, and here is basically the complete list, like related to the axis, right? So if you want to use format or limits related to the axis, axis dot label size, maybe you want to use that. So this way, if you have the label size will be increased or decreased. So I think in this case here it has been increased. And apart from that, it's more or less like how do you want to experiment with it, because there are a lot of, so if you are using grid, you have the grid like label color, label padding, title size if you want to work with the title. So pretty much a lot of things which have been given. One last thing I would really, I will just maybe increase title size just so that it is working fine, not giving me the error. One last thing I would really like to show you is the configuration file, where you can specify the default configuration that you can use in across the notebooks that you are opening, because by default these notebooks get the information from that file. So for that, what I'll do is I will comment this out, and then I will use import matplotlib as mtl, and let me execute it and create one cell above and say mpl.matplotlib.fname and execute it. So with this function matplotlib underscore fname, what you are getting is this file on this particular location, and the file name is here matplotlib trc. So I think I have opened it. Yes, matplotlib, and I think mpl data. So and matplotlib mpl data matplotlib rc. Yep. So if I double click and open it in a notepad, and here is this file. So this is basically saying matplotlib rc format, and this is the sample matplotlib configuration file. You can find a copy of it in your system, blah blah blah. And if you go down, you will see by default interactive is false, right? But I have shown you in previous video how you can make it interactive. You can specify the time zone, and then line width. By default, what is a line width, what is a line style, color, all of these different parameters that you are seeing. Patch line width, box related to the box plot. If I go down, you will see a lot of other information related to the font, right? So related to font, if you want to specify by default what are the font styles and their stretch, fade, and other things are. So this way you can basically update the information over here, but I will be a bit cautious, because if there is if you really want to use different types of styles, and there is no point. But I just wanted to give you an idea about that the file exists here, and you can basically specify what the default properties are in the key value. So this is the key, this is the value, this is the key, this is the value, in that format. And here they have done a really nice job in terms of showing what it really means. So HTML5, video tags and movie writer, a lot of different things with which you can experiment. So that's what I wanted to mainly show you. If I go back this. So you can use this function matplotlib_fname, which is basically file name, and get the file information. So that's pretty much all I have for you in this video, and I'll meet you in a new one with a new topic. Hey guys, this is Abhishek, and in this video I will just show you a quick information about how you can add text to your charts. So whenever you are plotting chart, there is sometimes a need that on a particular point you need to do a further explanation, especially in cases like when you are not presenting, and especially in those cases like even if you are presenting, you want to highlight with some sort of text that what really happened on that peak or on that tail or downward sloped information. So if you want to add text based on that event that happened on that the particular point of that chart, so how you can add that, I will just show you. So as usual, what we're going to use is we will going to import matplotlib.pyplot as plt like always, and then we will going to add this plt.text. We need to provide coordinates, maybe 0.5, 0.5, that means pretty much in the center, and then we will specify the text. This is center, and then simply plt.show. Alright, so this is center, maybe it is not. So this is X and this is Y, so maybe let's change it 0.25. Now it is on this side, so maybe 0.35 is a good idea. Yeah, somewhere down there in the center. So like this, you can really experiment with this about where it should be placed. Let's say I want 0.1, that means somewhere down here on the y-axis, so it has come down. If I want up, it should be over here, 1, right? So maybe 0.9, so it's going up. So this way you can keep shifting it wherever you want, and unless you are reaching to that coordinate. Apart from that, if you want to increase or decrease the size, you have the font dictionary where you can directly even apply font size as well. This is center, but if I go here and press shift tab and it says font dictionary, that means the multiple settings that you want to apply in the form of a dictionary, which is a key value pair. So if you go down, you will find the information. Font dictionary is override default text properties. Defaults are determined by your RC parameters, and you have the another parameter with dash, which is a boolean. You can further explore this, and down there you will find some examples as well, like this X, Y, S. S is probably holding some text, and then the font size is 12. So like this, Matplotlib, even it has parameters which is under kwargs, like horizontal alignment, vertical alignment, transform. So when you go a little bit in depth, like here in this case, bbox parameters stating that face color is red and alpha is equals to, which is the transparency is 0.5, then you can even change the color and make it transparent. So these are the different options that has been given for you to really explore, but I wanted to give you a quick start about how you can really add, and then with the help of this great help by pressing shift tab, you can utilize this information and make your chart more complex, as well as you can read the documentation of text and make it more meaningful. So that's pretty much all I have for you to give you a quick start, and then I hope you will further explore based on your needs.